What is going on, everyone? In this video, we're going to be doing the weekly recap of the stocked up trading floor, and what a week it has been. The market crushed it on Friday after Powell's Jackson Hole speech, but before that, it was definitely looking a little bit rough as we saw a fair amount of profit taking and just risk off mode happening. So, yeah, this week's going to be very exciting as well. Definitely tune into the main channel video. We cover everything that's going on, with why this move is currently happening, as well as what to look out for this upcoming week. So definitely check it out. But let's get right into the recap. Starting out with the high risk breakouts, we could see on the 18th, decent action, nothing too crazy. CIFR had some good movement. Meta and APLD and CELH had fine movement, but I wouldn't say it was anything too crazy. No 500% gains or anything like that, but it's fine, nothing too crazy. Looking on the 19th, we can see it started to pick up a bit as we saw just a lot more action and volatility. Palantir put options just absolutely crushed it as they increased by 413%. But even Netflix and Robinhood did good as well, as those put options increased by 173% and 124%. Intel did pretty good with 110% gains on those calls. And then Home Depot, APP, AMD all had moves of about 90% or greater. VKTX had a good move. FIG, both good moves. There's really only one dud, and that was with Reddit. So no complaints there. Very good day on the 19th. And again, Palantir, Netflix, and Robinhood really led the way, especially Palantir, just crushed it. So definitely good day there. This week wasn't anything too crazy, especially given the, you could say, worry heading into the Jackson Hole event and just increase in volatility. Looking on the 20th, though, again, good action, especially from like the top three plays. As we got further down the list, there was more duds and a little bit more noise on this day, but I would say it was decent. Nothing like too crazy. Looking on the 21st, nothing like too insane. We could see PSKY, FSLR, and XPEV did pretty well, as well as TEVA, but there were a fair amount of duds. But I would say good day, but more duds. And then with the final day of the week, I would say it was decent, just nothing as crazy as, let's say, like the 400% gains with Palantir like we saw earlier in the week. What I liked on Friday is that even though there wasn't like one or two tickers that just like absolutely crushed it, basically all tickers did move up a good amount, as the worst performing play moved up by 38% and the best one moved up by 90%, and there were a lot of in between. So lots of good opportunity, but nothing jaw dropping. And then looking at the pullback section, again, these trades tend to be less intense because the best setups don't pull back. They just keep on going and going. But the trade-off is that these types of setups do tend to be smoother, slower, and easier to catch. So again, scrolling through this week, decent action, nothing like jaw-dropping, but decent. And then looking at the theta trades, all four expired for max profit, which is great to see. If you have not shorted put options yet, or if you're not sure how shorting put options work, definitely feel free to reach out to Tom, Hunter, Mason, or myself in SM chat, and we'll make sure you're taken care of. But essentially, shorting put options is selling options rather than buying them. And when you specifically sell put options on a stock that you're happy to own, you're able to put yourself in a position where you get paid to potentially buy shares of a company that you are happy to own at a price you're happy to own them at. This has multiple benefits. The first one being the options you are selling are theoretically a little bit more expensive than they should be, which immediately works to your benefit. But I would say even more powerful than that, basically just the system of potentially taking on ownership of stocks that you'd be happy to own, especially if they're priced reasonably, is a good thing over the long term, because those assets are most likely going to increase, and you can profit off the volatility by selling call options and even selling put options repeatedly, like running a wheel if you want. as well as doing multiple other advanced management techniques that you can learn and build upon. But either way, shorting put options is great. Definitely look into it if you haven't already. There's a lot you could learn. But besides that, thank you all so much for watching and have a great rest of your weekend.